Okay. I hope my mic's working. I got my mic's working. Cool. Hey guys. So new points release for X-Wing, right? New points update. I don't really want to go through this page here. But I'll go through the points because it's pretty cool. There's been a decent amount of changes, some of them good. I think some of them's kind of good for some people, bad for some people. I'm looking at you, separatist mains. Definitely a little bit of a hit on some pieces, but we might as well just go through it, right? So XWA did release their R2 patch notes. I don't know whether that's round 2 or what, but it's patch notes effective today or yesterday. Yesterday Americans, today Australians. You know how it is. But anyway, just go straight through it. There wasn't too many changes, but there was pretty decent changes. So, for example, going through it, we're starting with Rebels. Y Wings. Ivan Verlaine is still 3 points, got an extra 3 loader. Ivan is the one where you can spend your focus token at the start of the engagement phase to give a friendly ship at 0 to 1 an extra green dice for the whole round, which is pretty interesting. So an extra 3 points helps her with balancing that loadout. That's basically a free dorsal. Maybe it's like a concussion mine. Maybe it's like an R2, not an R2, but like a R4 astromech, something like that. Next is a pretty cool change that we see, which is Nora Wexley, who I don't think has ever been 4 points. It's now 4 points, which is really cool, especially for a Y-Wing, I think. Nora Wexley Y-Wing at 4 points with 12 loadout. So she loses 13 loadout to go down a point. But Nora is still a really cool Y-Wing, really strong Y-Wing. I'm pretty sure it's if there's an enemy ship at 0 to 1 of you, you always add an evade result. While you defend, if there's an enemy ship at 0 to 1, add 1 evade result to your dice results. So basically, chuck her in close, auto evade every round. I think it's pretty cool making her 4 points, makes her a little bit more viable. Because obviously 5 points is kind of at that spot where it's taken up like an ace, like a Luke Skywalker or a Wedge, and Tilly's in the X-Wing. And I mean, 25 loadout or whatever it was is pretty good for a 5-point ship, but it's still just a Y-Wing, right? They die. Pretty predictable. So you can still take some cool stuff like plasma torpedoes, or play into a close range advanced proton torpedoes, or take plasmas and an ion cannon turret. I'm pretty sure. Nope, that does not fit. Plasmas in a dorsal, it looks like. And then you can also take an R4 astromech if you want, or a watchful astromech to try and help you with that getting that token. You could also still take your ion cannon turret, veteran turret gunner, which is still a pretty decent build, double tapping with your 2 dice and then a 3 dice range 1 to 2. And then you've also got an extra 2 points to maybe chuck on a watchful astromech or a R4 astromech, or maybe even hopeful or something like that. Tiff and belly run, be weird with it. But there's still some good options you can take on her, and at 4 points, that's definitely an interesting ship to have at 4 points, because I don't think I've ever seen it at that low of a price in X-Wing before. And I've played for a while, but might be wrong, but that's pretty cool. Next, we got Pops Crail, Gold 5. 3 points with 6 loadout now. So Pops, I'm pretty sure, as you do a blue maneuver, you give someone a focus action. Is that right? After you fail to execute a white maneuver, you may choose a friendly ship at 0 to 1. If you do, it may perform a focus action. So do white maneuvers, give yourself 3 focuses. He's got an extra 3 loadout to play with, which is pretty cool. Lets you take an ion cannon turret, which is actually, honestly, that's really good. Pops at 3 points, having an ion cannon turret every single turn, focus locking, or focus barrel rolling, focus rotating. There's a couple of good options you could do there. We could just chuck out the dorsal and chuck maybe a seismic charge or a R4 or R3 astromech, even help you more for your action economy when you actually have to do a blue maneuver, because with the whites, you're kind of locked into speed 2 or 3. But I think that's an interesting decision. I got to be honest, I haven't seen Rebel meta. I don't think they have been super strong recently, but that's definitely some interesting changes on their cheaper Y wings, and making their most expensive Y wing 4 points is a good decision, I think. We don't have too many changes. Going down to Fang Fighters, Bodic Avenger's come a little bit out of her jail cell. She's back down to 4 points like she was in AMG points, but she's lost a lot of loadout, sticking at 5. So 5 loadout means no Beskar, very limited on what you're taking. So maybe you take marksmanship, Mando optics. Maybe you take predator marksmanship. Maybe you take I don't know what else can you check for 5 points. Something that gives you passive rerolls or passive defense. Maybe enduring. I don't know. But I like that. I don't think at 5 points Boudica was seeing much play. Even with her 16 loadout at 5 points, I don't think there was a lot of play with her. Because she still is an initiative 4 Fang Fighter. And if you don't know what Boudica does, if someone shoots a friendly that's not you, you can bonus attack. You can take a deplete to bonus attack. If you're not depleted, you may perform a bonus primary attack against the target. If you do, after performing the attack, gain 1 deplete. So XWA meta was like, I think it was Boudica and Fenrau with Swarm Tactics, which was a really good combo because Boudica could take Beskar, Mando Optics, and I think it was also you could also take something like what's that card? Clan Training. You could take like that type of loadout, being swarmed up to initiative 6, and then shooting before you have to take the penalty of the deplete token. Which I think is a little bit easier to deal with now. Like obviously you can still take that Boudica Fen combo, but at the same time, Boudica is still a 4-point Fang Fighter who only has 5 points of loadout, no Beskar to help you mitigate some of that damage you would be taking or you used to take. Going down, an interesting thing I've noticed is that a lot of the big ships have been given some extra loadout. So all your gauntlet fighters, your well, actually, all the gauntlet fighters across every faction has been given a little bit of a buff, which is really good, especially since we've got that drop seat bait at 0 points. But looking at these gauntlets here, 6-point Chopper now has 18 loadout. And of course, Chopper's not the best by any means gauntlet fighter, but for 6 points with 18 loadout, there's a bunch of stuff you can do on him, especially with all the loadout he does have. Where's the gauntlet? Jeez, I can't find the gauntlet. I can't find the gauntlet. There it is. I found it, guys. But yeah, so the gauntlet, Chopper 6 of 18. He can still take your drop seat bay, so loses the bomb but gains 2 extra crew. So he could be a really good crew carrier now at 6 points. Chuck everything on him. You can chuck Leia. You could chuck Ezra. No, not Ezra. But you could chuck Leia and maybe even Tristan, or go something like a tactical officer and go a full support ship. Obviously, a support ship at 6 points is a little bit of a bad take, but it is interesting with 3 extra loadout. It does give him a lot more options. I don't know if we'll see him, but he is pretty cool. And then Ezra Bridger in the gauntlet also got given an extra 5 loadout, so he's at 6 and 15, which I think is really cool because Ezra has lots of stuff he can do. For instance, taking another force crew like Kanan Jarrus or Maul, or even taking Luke Skywalker Gunner to get an extra force. There's a couple of options you could do. You could fly a Phoenix Cell. He's got Night Brother gives him an extra crew. And then you can also take drop seat bay. So he has up to 4 crew slots you could chuck on this guy. So you could go for some wacky, interesting builds. I don't think they're good builds, but you can go for some wacky builds with him if you really wanted to. Obviously, you are still limited to 15 loadout, but you could also chuck some cool stuff on him. So it'd be interesting to see what people cook up on that. I myself probably won't touch it because I'm not very good with gauntlets, but I will be flying more gauntlets soon because I want to try them out. Anyway, going down, Ahsoka Tano in the A-Wing is now 4 points, but only 5 loadout. So pretty sure the standard AMG has Ahsoka at like some insane 4 points. 4 and 7 for Ahsoka in in standard. XWA has her. Am I reading this wrong? Did I read the wrong pilot? No. A-Wing Ahsoka, 4 points with 5 loadout value. Maybe Yasby hasn't done it yet. Am I stupid, guys? I might be stupid. That's before the change. I'm pretty sure everything is just They must have missed that. But Ahsoka is now 4 points with 5 loadout. Which I think is really cool. Ahsoka is a good support piece in a squad, and especially at 4 points. Her ability, she has 3 force with the ability after you fully execute a maneuver. You may choose a friendly ship at 1 to 2 and spend 2 force. That ship may perform an action even while stressed. So it gives you some good options to give ships that don't normally get action. Like it's like an initiative 5 coordinate type of thing, and even on a stress ship as well. So it gives them lots of options to maybe stress an X-wing and then barrel roll them or something. I don't know. There's a couple of cool options you get with that ability. And at 4 points, it's definitely a good piece you can chuck on your list, very much so. Like obviously it's still an A-wing that can die easily, but you don't always have to spend your force. It's still an A-wing with 3 force. You've got 5 loadout, so you can chuck stuff on it like brilliant evasion and maybe even something like shattering shot to give you that extra bit of movement, that extra bit of attack power, or even just take an ion missile. Like brilliant evasion ion missile is a great decision to go to. Gives you initiative 5 ion tech. It gives you good defense. It lets you do your pseudo coordinate on ships, which is really cool. I think Ahsoka is going to get played a lot more, and definitely a good buff for Rebels. But it's a really fun ship to fly. Next, we have Jake Farrell getting a little bit of love, still at 4 points though. Extra 4 loadout. I don't know if that's going to see much play, considering there is ships like Nora Wexley, who now is 4 points with 12 loadout, or ships like Pops Krail, which does basically what Jake does for 3 points. Because Jake is, after you perform a boost of barrel action, you may choose a friendly ship at 0 to 1. That ship may perform a focus action, so you can give it to yourself or another friendly. Really good for that system size vectored cannons. That free boost in the systems is really interesting to chuck on there. You got 12 loadout, so you could chuck maybe even a shield upgrade on them, right? Afterburners to be, if you want to be, I don't know. No, you wouldn't chuck afterburners. That's stupid. But a hull upgrade, shield upgrade, maybe even an elusive lone wolf. Have them, well, not really lone wolf, but elusive, that sort of thing. It would be interesting to chuck on him. Because he has a loadout to play with. I don't know if he's going to be played. And then also we have Shara Bay, who is at 4 points as well. This is the standard, not standard, sorry. This is the customizable Shara Bay. 4 points with 17 loadout. Standard Shara Bay still 3 points. Again, I don't know why you would be flying 4-point A-wings in Rebels specifically. Like Resistance flies 4-point A-wings because they have abundance of loadout and good abilities like ZZ ZZ and it's not Zari, it's the other one, Tally. ZZ and Tally, and then Sefton was also 3 points, and Spoiler is 4 points now. But I don't know why you'd fly a 4-point A-wing at initiative 4. You may spend a lock you have on the enemy ship to add a focus result to your dice results. Like, sorry, like unless you're scooting past them to grabbing a lock and then flanking, that ability is not really the best. You do not have a lot of loadout to mess around with here. Like, what do you do? Shield upgrade, rockets, and the hopeful. Like, it's like you don't have enough loadout to play with to make 17 points worth it. They didn't add more slots, do they? No, it's like realistically, why? Like maybe you coerce someone to play it, but it's still a 4-point A-wing. That's initiative 4 doesn't technically get any super good buffs. Like, why would you play Shara over Ahsoka, who has 3 force and 5 loadout, but can take something like brilliant evasion or shattering shot? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe if you're playing in a coordinator list where you're always getting that ability off. But I don't know. That just seems like one of those things that changes they make just to see what it does and then just change back straight away. But yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, keep going on X-Wings. Down to X-Wings, sorry. We have, did I miss something? No, Sheathby's in it. Biggs Darklighter in your custom X-Wing is still 4 points, but an extra 5 loadout. I have to be completely honest. Is that an auto take now with X-Wings? Biggs at 4 and 10. Like, your initiative 5s, Corran Horn and where is he? Thane Kyrell don't have as much loadout, but Biggs is so versatile. While another friendly ship at 0 to 1 defends, before the neutralize result step, if you are in the attack arc, you may suffer 1 hit or crit result to cancel 1 matching result. So he doesn't have a talent slot, so you can't run what's it called? You can't run selfless to do that double whammy, but you can run a shield upgrade now. So basically, you take Biggs for shield upgrade, you have an extra shield, so your resistance X-Wing who takes damage for friendlies. Like I can see Biggs Luke being a really good combo to take now. Especially now that we go down to Luke. Luke's the only other X-Wing change. Still 5 points, but he has an extra 2 loadout, 7 loadout. So realistically, like that's a good take in your list. There's no 1 point astromech. So literally it is you go shield upgrade, afterburners, like even afterburners like R4 would be cool, but like why wouldn't you just go shield upgrade and then take Luke? That's a 9 point combo where you're flying Biggs with Luke. You have that shield upgrade for the instant, like, okay, I'll take a damage for nothing, basically. Luke can now take plasma torpedoes. You also could take your ion torpedoes plus your instinctive aim if you really wanted. You can take stuff like, if you really want, brilliant evasion, or you could take R5 astromech, which is also a good option. There's a couple of good options you can chuck on Luke now. He did. I'm pretty sure he did get his talent slot removed in the last update where they removed all the talent slots off your force users. But still, there's some good stuff you can chuck. Shattering shot, R4 astromech to help with maneuverability, brilliant evasion. Yeah, there's some cool stuff you can chuck on that. And with Biggs being like with 10 like Biggs with shield upgrades, a very viable piece to use in a game. Like I would be running that. That would be fun. I actually want to run that now. I have to make a list around that. That's cool. But moving on, the next change we have is K2SO in the U-Wing has received an extra 2 loadout, so 4 and 6. That matches him with Bodhi Rook. If I'm not mistaken, I actually am mistaken. I have no idea what K2SO does. I know that Bodhi's ability is pretty useless. Friendly ships can lock off of you. K2SO after you gain a stress token, gain a calculator. That's really cool. 6 loadout's interesting. Informant's pretty cool to chuck on that. Maybe Gonk Droid. You could also just take something like a passive sensors. Ooh, that would be interesting. Maybe something that helps with stress. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I don't mind that 4 and 6 is good. You could easily see. I did see a list flying around, which was K2SO body and then 3 4 point. What are they called? Arc 170s, which is really cool. But yeah, it's not bad. Like, I mean, make a match with Bodhi. Both of them have relatively not the best abilities. Obviously, K2SO is better, but Bodhi also gets access to an extra. Wait, Bodhi has the exact same stuff. Never mind. Psych. Next on the list, we have VCX Chopper going up to 14 loadout instead of 12. That extra 2 loadout, is that good? That gives you access to Saw Magva, I believe. I think that was running Saw Magva before. Saw Guerrero, and then ooh, Saw Magva. Yes, you get Saw Magva on 6 point chopper. This is easily one of my favorite builds. I used to be able to chuck on chopper. Saw Guerrero, obviously, you take a damage to change all your focuses to crits while attacking. Magva, after you defend, if the attack hit, you may acquire a lock on the defender. Basically, you play Chopper, who is at the start of the engagement phase. Each enemy ship at range 0 against 2 jams. You run him in there. You just go straight into the center of the board. Maybe get a couple bumps. If someone you just reinforces your action. If someone shoots you and hits you, Magva gives you a free lock. Then you just shoot them back with Saw Guerrero to do like if it's range 1, 5 dice with a double modded, which is really cool. I love that. I think Chopper can easily be super viable now. I love this. I love these two pieces together on a VCX. If anything, if I ever fly a VCX, they always have Saw Guerrero Magva. It's just such a good combo to chuck on them to just make them extra deadly. So I do like that. Next, we have Dash Render Freighter for Hire gains 8 extra loadout. I did look at this one. This one's really cool. This is the new version of Dash, not the old version. So old Dash is the not that one. Yeah, it is that one. 8 and 20. Old Dash is 8 and 20. That's because he immediately has 4 attack dice and is just super good. And he's the one that just ignores obstacles while moving. Whereas this one's the one where I think you can ignore him if you land. During the engagement phase, ignore the effects of obstacles that you're overlapping. So I was thinking when I was tying this up, obviously you go Perceptive Copilot, give him extra focus. We go Trick Shot just because we want to have that extra dice going through rocks. Take Contraband, we take Rig Cargo Chute, and we take a blade of plating. And then you have a really chunky dash that will fly around rocks. He will fly over rocks. He will land on rocks, and he will trick shot the hell out of you. And potentially even if you have a coordinator, in your list, drop a Rig Cargo Chute just have that there as like that little bit of a, oh, will you go behind me or will you not go behind me type of thing. So that's really cool. I love that change. I think he might be used now. I know some people tried using 8-point dash, but even in a list where you take 3 A wings and a 3-point coordinator and AP5, I tried running that. Like it's good, but it's not good. But it's like you have to play it perfect. So I like this change having a 7-point option. Who can land on the rocks and shoot. A blade of plating does help you choose a rock and land on it. Obviously, you can still take a 3-point coordinator, then take 2 5-point ships and run AP5 dash, coordinate dash for the focuses. Dash can grab locks, help with his attacks, or he can grab he doesn't have evade, barrel rolls, rotate actions, or some cool stuff you can do, or even rig cargo shoot coordinate, of course. But yeah, that is the end of Rebels. I think Rebels had some really cool changes, really interesting loadout changes. Obviously, like I said, some that I think are kind of useless, and why would you even bother? But some that are like, okay, cool. Well, Biggs is taking a shit upgrade every game now. But yeah, it's cool. Next, we are in the Galactic Empire, and we have more loadout changes on the gauntlets. So these gauntlets got absolutely spoiled. Captain Hark got 6 extra loadouts, 6 and 20. Captain Hark's ability, I believe, lets him side slip instead of doing a zero maneuver. Yes, you must execute that ability as a side slip. So you get to 1 bank, so you must, so you have to always do it. But with 20 loadout, of course, you can still take your drop seat bays. That can definitely open up a good Palpatine carrier with 8 loadout to spare. Like that's pretty good. I like that. I really like that. That's pretty interesting. And you also obviously have still have 2 more crew slots up your sleeves. You have talents. You have illicits. No payload if you're taking the drop seat. Of course, you don't even have to. Oh wait, no, you do have to take drop seat if you want PAL, but still good option. Next we have Gar Saxon is 7 with 24 loadout, gaining an additional 5. Holy man, they're spoiling these ones. So obviously it's a 7-point ship, but this one allows you to, while a friendly unit at 0 to 2 performs a primary attack, if an attacker is in the defender's, while the attacker is in the defender's, so if it's in the back half, if it's in the back arc, you can spend 1 and the attacker rolls an additional dice. So, I mean, flanking Vader, rolling 5 dice at range 1 after doing a 4K afterburner into the back of some guy. Like, sorry, that's been crazy. That would be really cool. I think Gar Saxon is definitely a viable pick at 7 points with 24 loadout. Because again, we can just take a drop seat bay and we can run a palp. Like this guy isn't necessarily gonna die easily. Like you can run Emperor Palpatine, you could run a gunner like Tiber Saxon, or you could even run Palp Fifth Brother. Like you could run Palp Fifth Brother and do a double force Palpatine build. While a friendly ship defends or performs an attack, you may spend 1 force to modify. Yeah, that works on the whole force pool because it joins the active force pool. So you could realistically run Palp and Grand Inquisitor, and then that allows. Holy crap! After an enemy ship is 0 to start, you may spend 1 force for 1 white action on your action bar, treating that action as red. Wow. Holy crap, you could, oh, there's some cool stuff you can do, man. That's interesting. That's a really cool combo. I actually would love to see Palp Palp Inquisitor on this guy. 2 force coordinate, you still have your supporting piece in your ability. You still technically are an 11 hit point ship with 2 agility. Like that's pretty cool. And you don't have to use a force. Wow, okay. I mean, it's 7 points. Like that's a lot, but that's interesting. I like that. That's cool. Sorry. By the way, I didn't actually I didn't list build an empire. I looked at the points and list built with some factions like scum, but that's cool. And then obviously your Imperial Super Commandos, which is the last one, also got buffed up to 20 loadout. Honestly, what happened there? Sorry, what happened with that? 20 loadout. Like, I'm sorry, why would you take them over Park? Like, I guess they have the two payloads instead of one, so you can take drop seat bay and still run one bomb. But like, I don't know why you would. You normally you just take Captain Hark A. Like, honestly, I mean, it gives you the option to zero stop because Captain Hark doesn't let you zero stop. But you also get to with Captain Hark, you get to pick which direction you want when you do it. So there's plenty of options to choose. Um, but yeah, I'd probably just be taking Captain Hark for the extra initiative, or I'd honestly just be taking Garth Saxon because that's pretty whack. Palp and Inquisitor, like that's pretty cool. Anyway, continuing on. Speaking of Inquisitors, TIE Advance V1's got a little bit of a buff. So Fifth Brother, 4 points, still got an extra 2 loadout that lets him be a little bit more tricky with his loadout. I think you can easily take fire control, homing missiles, instinctive aim. No, you don't speak instinctive aim on him. Sorry, you go brilliant evasion, and then you go, I guess, predictive shot. But yeah, it gives you some good options. You could even be taking prockets. Obviously, prockets are good, but the classic homing missile, use your ability to shoot two. Um, or that could be a good combo with. Oh, that could be an interesting combo with. Sorry, I'm thinking now. It could be an interesting combat with your Captain Hark. Not Captain Hark. Not Imperial. Gar Saxon. Gar Saxon. Where's Palp? When another friendly ship defends or performs an attack, you may spend one force and modify one of its dice so that ship had spent one force. Okay. So you can't do that on. No, you can't act. You can't trigger Fifth Brother's ability or his or an instinctive aim base off of that. And I don't think you can trigger brilliant evasion base off of that. But I mean, there's still good options to run a like that's obviously 11 points of a list. It's not bad. But yeah, Fifth Brother got the 2 point buff, which is good. Grand Inquisitors now down to 4 points with 5 loadout, which is yeah, I mean, take brilliant evasion, take ion missiles or something like that. Grand Inquisitor is not a bad piece, definitely. Even just take hate, honestly. Hate's a good idea. But yeah, that's cool. And then Seventh Sister, I have no idea what her ability does, but she got an extra 2 points as well. Waveform primary attack, you can spend 2 to neutralize an evade result. Definitely like, wow, is that a primary actually? Is it only so primary? Only primary. Okay. Well, that would be cool if you could use it on a missile like Prockets, but still opens you up to some cool stuff. Prockets of really an evasion, fire control system, or even shattering shot. Like, there's some good stuff you could do there. Definitely. So I think they are a little bit more viable, but only because of probably this change here, which is Juno going up a point. Um, a lot of people were running Juno Marek at 4 points each, which is really strong. Now they might change it to Marek and Grand Inquisitor or Marek and Seventh Sister, something like that, or Fifth Brother even. But here, Juno has gone up a point, 5 points now, but with 18 loadout value. Honestly, not a bad piece to still run. With at 5 points, it's a lot. Again, it is a lot of points to chuck in when you could be grabbing someone like you add an extra point and just take Vader, or you could take a Whisper. You could take Whisper with it. But 5 points and 18 loadout, realistically, spend 10 loadout on a shield upgrade, or get 10 loadout on a shield upgrade, grab Prockets and fire control system. Boom, you're good to go. Extra shield, pretty decent. I don't mind that at all. I think that'd be a good option. What I do like though is Marek Steel going down 2 points. And the reason I do like this is because I really hated the Procket fire control system build you could chuck on these guys. So Marek cannot take that anymore. because you can only take prockets, or you could take something like fire control system and elusive. Like it's a little bit limiting. He has to now choose: do you want the bells and whistles? Do you want the super strong procket attack, or do you want the always keep your lock and be a little bit more action efficient? Or yeah, it's good that he has to choose between those now. That means he can't grab a lock at range 3 next round to go into range 1 with a lock focus double modded procket. He has to choose between those two options, which is great. Choices are good. Makes it easier on your opponent to not deal with BS. But yeah, pretty cool. So defenders now, they did write in this notice that they were giving the Volt Scaris and Darth Vader in the defender platform received a loadout increase. I don't think Vader's necessarily relevant. Like, sorry, he's still a 9-point defender. Realistically, like even when he was like super meta, like he's still a 9-point defender. Like with 8 loadout, I guess you take a ion cannon and you can't even take brilliant evasion because he's not allowed to spend force on defense. You cannot spend force except while attacking. Yeah, so like you can't brilliant evasion, you can't shattering shot. Like I guess you can take malice, go all in there, malice and yeah. Actually he's got a tech. He does have it. Oh, I don't know, man. This. It's like one of those weird things where it's like you just take malice, right? Like what else do you chuck on there? Like malice and I didn't just know foresight. I mean, are you allowed to spend that force to perform the attack? Yeah, like you can't chuck foresight. Like so, I guess it's malice. Like this is the thing I don't understand. Like you can't. I don't think you're allowed to trigger it. Like someone tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any of these force except for hate and malice are applicable. And even then, if you take malice, like what are you taking? Thread tracers, ion missiles. You're never taking the configuration in your life unless you have a coordinator. But why would you have a coordinator in a list of a 9-point ship? You don't have enough pilots. So, like realistically, cool. He's got options if you want to play him for fun, but I don't think he's going to be a competitive piece. Um, but I mean, it's interesting. Like, there's stuff you can do if you want, but nah, that's like nah. Still no from me. Um, yeah, still a no from me. Even Boba Fett, I think Boba Fett he's at 8 points, isn't he? Um, I think Boba Fett's more oppressive than Defender Vader, but obviously, I wasn't in the competitive scene when Defender Vader was popping, so I don't necessarily have any trauma from that. So I've got no idea. But what I do like is Volt Scaris got 4 more points, and I literally played Volt Scaris last night, and I really liked the chassis. Like Volt Scaris is really cool. Obviously his ability you probably don't use, but with this extra loadout, you do get options to do with him. So obviously I'm taking my heavy laser cannon. I'll be taking fire control system. I'll be taking Duke, and then I have 4 points with another talent slot. So I could even drop fire control system and go for a 6-point talent. Like, what can we do for 6 points? It's really good. Crack shot. Ooh. Trick shot. Ooh. Um. Or you could actually go for trick shot. Then you could go, collision detector. Duke trick shot collision detector is a pretty decent build, honestly. Tuck yourself in front of a rock, just ignore it with collision detector. Um, and I think technically, if you're, I don't know how this works, but if you're ignoring the rock, do you still get trick shot shooting through it? Because I think for the effect of trick shot itself, the attack is obstructed. You're just ignoring the obstruction. So I think you still get the trick shot. But either way, that's an interesting build. Actually really like that. I think that'd be a good option. I think that'd be really cool, honestly. But moving down, Punisher, the Thai CA Punisher Redline got an additional 6 loadout. He is still 6 points. I don't even know what Redline does. Sorry, bear with me, guys. I have to look this up for every single one of these guys. You can maintain up to 2 locks after performing action. You may acquire a lock. Okay. I mean, he is 6 points. Yeah. I mean, I guess you go all out on stuff like you have all the loadout in the world to play with a 2 missile slots, a torpedo slot, a payload slot. Like anytime you're shooting, you're double modded unless you get jammed, and you're initiative 5. Holy man, that's pretty crazy. What do you do here? You go. Oh yeah, this is interesting. Fire control system, protons, of course. Then you can take a good bomb. Actually, let's ignore bomb until last. Let's grab a blade of plating. Let's grab a proton bomb. 3 loadout skilled bombardier. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, I guess you don't believe you're going to survive more than more than 2 turns of shooting. I guess you only got 9 hull, 1 agility. Maybe you take this and you go for a reload action. Your maneuvers aren't the best, but reload's white, so you reload and lock anyway because of your ability. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's an interesting build. Obviously, like this thing. Oh, and you have 1 point display. You take delayed fuses for your proton bombs. So you literally run through rocks. You focus and lock every single turn. Yeah, okay, I like it. Initiative 5 as well. So that's pretty. Yeah, okay. Why give it so much loadout? Like I guess that this platform only works with a bunch of loadouts because it needs to be able to equip stuff. But still, 26 loadout is so high on a ship with that many options. Yeah, cool. I'm done with that. Next is the TIE Interceptor. Commandant Goran lost 4 loadout value. Good change, good change. I like it. I like it. Main reason is because you could take hull upgrade with Goran, and he was just annoying to deal with. I flew him a lot because whenever I played Empire, so I do know how annoying that hull upgrade is for your opponent when like your opponent thinks I kill you, but you're like, I have an extra hull. Na, 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 na. Yeah, so that's cool. I like that. I like that change. It's good. Ties didn't get touched. Uh, I could say it's interesting, but I agree. Like they're good where they are. Um, then Echo, SL Echo lost a point, and I do think this is good because Echo is strong, isn't he? Pardon me. After an enemy ship at 0 to 1 performs an action on its action bar, you can spend 1 to perform the same action treating as white. It's an enemy ship for starters, so that's not bad. Silent Hunter, after you decloak, you can acquire a lock on an enemy ship in your bullseye. Pretty good. Stealth Gambit. After a friendly ship performs an attack that hits an enemy ship in your forward arc, if you are cloaked, you may gain a strain token to remove your cloak token and perform a bonus primary attack against the defender. At the end of the engagement phase, if you are strained, gain an evade token. After decloak, at the start of the end phase, you may spend what? How does that work? At the start of the end phase, you may spend 1 evade token to gain 1 cloak token. At the end of engagement, sorry, yeah, end of engagement, get an evade if you're strained. So basically, you flank, then you get out. You flank while cloaked. You get out of your cloak and perform a bonus attack, and then you shoot again. And then if no one shot you because you're flanking, you can get an evade and recloak again. That's pretty cool. I like that. And then you've also got your manual ailerons. 2 times a game you can decloak using bank maneuvers, which is really cool. I like that. That is a really cool ship, and I'm happy to see that at 5 points because I think that'll be really fun to play against. Like it's gonna be if someone plays it right, it's gonna be really annoying to play against, but it's a fun ship, 100%. Anyway, that will tie off Empire. I am really interested to see whether people will be running Defender Vader. Obviously, I don't think it's I still don't think it's a good ship, but I mean, prove me wrong, fly it, that'd be cool. I do really like this Gar Saxon. Oh, I don't know what that is. I do really like this Gar Saxon and the build I did with Palp and not Fifth Brother, Palp and Grand Inquisitor. I think that'll be, or actually, Fifth Brother would be better, but that would be a really cool, oppressive, not oppressive, but like a really cool build to see if it works. Because obviously there's not many ships that can take 2 force crew like that, so that's really cool to see. And then, of course, I hate that ship, but it's interesting, and I really want to try out this Echo, SL Echo. Anyway, continuing on. Scum and Villainy, the good guys, or what I think is the good guys, but realistically, they aren't necessarily the good guys. Sorry. So, starting off our RG88s, all of them got 3 to 2 loadout more. So that gives 88A 15 points and everyone else at 18. I really like this upgrade. Gives them access to more bombs in their arsenal. Gives them access to chucking Fearless on if you weren't previously running Fearless. I think it's really good change to give them an extra little bit of loadout because they are still like they are good, but they roll bad and they're bad. They roll good and they're good. It's weird. But yeah, I like that. I'll mess around and see what builds I can make. But realistically, it's going to be exactly what I have previously run. Maybe add one extra upgrade in each. Next, Y wings didn't get changed. Customized YTs haven't gotten changed. Escape crafts haven't been changed. Fangs haven't been changed, but fire sprays. Emon Azamon has gotten an extra bomb, or you can just say an extra bomb because he's got 5 loadout. I do like that change. Does give you options for force crew, I guess. Was Emon. Yeah, so I'm probably just running a build I have flown previously. Slave 1, Andrastra, no, not Andrastra, Marauder for the backwards rerolls, Veteran Tail Gunner for the extra rerolls, and then a Proton Bomb. Or, well, actually, you could run, yeah, Concussions with delayed fuses. Oh, yeah, that's the money right there. This is a build I have played a lot, and I think it's really fun. Obviously, Force is good. Child Merciless Pursuit isn't the best, but I mean, it's all right for mods. Makes them want to chase you. Concussion bombs for if they do trace you. Veteran Tail Gunner for double taps. You could easily enough change Marauder to Andrastra and take another bomb. Maybe another Proton like that. Could also change out stuff like maybe a Seismic and then take 3 points of Fearless or Lone Wolf or something like that. Lone Wolf would actually be cool if you're playing on your own. Lone Wolf and Child. That's a cool build. I like that. Obviously, you're not double tapping for a 7-point ship, which is you're not double tapping and you're not necessarily packing a punch, but you do have your bombs as extra utility. But I like that. I like that Emon change. I think it's great that he's got that extra loadout to actually play with. Because I mean, at 14 loadout, he kind of seemed like air. All the fire sprays have kind of seemed air, except for Boba Fett, of course, because he's the legend, the man, the myth, legend. My favorite ship. I don't know if you can see, but I have a Boba Fett helmet on my on my drawer. No, you can't see it. Anyway, continuing. Gauntlets, as I said, all of them get some loadout increases. So, one thing I actually do want to say, but I'll say it in a second. We'll go through it. Maul got an extra 6 loadout, and quite honestly, he didn't need it. But I mean, uh, Narcaxi's gonna love that. Maul with an extra loadout is bonkers now. 7 points still, but he can take that loadout that I like seeing on him, which was Idle Knight Brother, the extra crew. Then you take IG88, then you take Lando Calrissian, you take Malice, and then you can even take a gunner. Can you afford a stealth device? Is that 8 points? Not cloaking. Stealth device is 8 points. So I mean, you can't afford that, but you could also chuck on a hate or a. Does he have 2 payloads or does he only have 1? Sorry. He's got a payload and we're not running the thing. So yeah, we could chuck a cluster mines on him. We could chuck a missile on a missile maul. You could chuck something like tactical scrambler for when he gets in the thick of it. He's obviously got Silver Wing. Or you just chuck hate like that. Yeah. You could even chuck a veteran tail gunner on him if you really want. But yeah, he's got a lot of options now. Double tapping Maul is good. Hate Malice Maul is also good, but definitely that IG88 Lando combo is really strong on Maul with his Force. I mean, obviously, you could just pimp him out with a Force user, go really hard in there with that. But actually, how much is the combo? IG88. Oh, you can do that, can't you? Ooh. Swivel wing, drop seat bay. Where's my force user? A Silkatano. Oh yeah. 4-4 small. Let's go, baby. 4-4 small and still good at the game, apparently, because that's and Sakatro, not that you'll ever use it. I mean, you could actually check Sakatro and use it on other friendlies, but yeah, that's cool. Like, I think that's a really good build. Obviously, he is still just small, but the IG-88D Lando plus an extra force is just pretty crazy to think about. Obviously, you don't have good force regeneration because you have no malice, you have no hate. But easily enough, you could drop this combo and run a 4 force, hate, and brilliant evasion build. Like brilliant evasion never going to trigger, but yeah, you could easily run an Ahsoka hate build. This is really cool. I think it's cool. Rook Cast got an extra 4 loadout. Definitely good to play with that drop seat bay. Rook's ability is still really good for attacking, and the only reason we weren't using her was because she only had an 8 loadout. But what I think is really cool is Shadow Collective Operator at 6 points with 20 loadout. And I think that, okay, obviously it's not working because my thing's glitched. Gauntlets. I think that's something I just had a look at. Like that's gonna be really interesting to try out because you have 3 crew slots, so you could become a really good crew carrier. And at 6 points, it's better than 7. Ben Rao, Jabba the Hutt. Where's Jabba? Ben Rao, Jabba the Hutt, and I mean you have 2 points or something. I don't know, 2 points. You can do something, but yeah, it's there's some good crew you can carry in Scum to help everyone else. Obviously, it's still 6 point ship you're using it on, but um, and obviously you can run this on Maul who already has 3 force, but um, there are some good crew options that aren't normally taken in Scum, like maybe Prime Minister Almec, maybe uh Pre Vizsla. Maybe you take Mando Commandos, and you still have one more crew left, and you could take Ben Rao. Then you have 5 points left. Ooh, what are we taking? I don't know. Payload, maybe an illicit Babu Frick. Ooh, oh yes, Babu Frick. Yeah, cool. I like that. That's an interesting combo you could take on a 6 point ship. Not bad, not bad. Mando Super Commandos are also really cool. I don't. I mean, they're fun to play online. In person, it's horrible. But yeah, to continue going, Manaru and the Jump Master got an extra 3 loadout. I don't think it was need. Actually, no, that it definitely was needed. When someone like Peltravura has 21 loadout at 5 points and also has an extra um initiative on you. Yeah, Mana is initiative 3, Teltravura is initiative 4, and just comes back from the dead. Like definitely definitely like the extra 3 points. I was seeing people flying it with a torpedo, like a plasma torpedo, cannon, like a ion cannon. Then they were running a gunner, a weapon system officer, so they could attack and then keep their lock, and then yeah. So there's some interesting things you can chuck on Manaru with 18 loadout. Some things that you wish you could check on Dengar, but you can't. But yeah, it's cool. Definitely some options to play with there. And I think, we got Unkar Plut in the Quadrajet up 3 points now, so maybe a viable crew carrier. I have no idea. Unkar's initiative 4, I think he is. Unkar Plut, Unkar Plut. No, initiative 2. At the start of the engagement, oh, what is this? If at the start of the engagement, at the start of the engagement phase, if there are one or more other ships at range 0, you and each other ship at range 0 gain 1 tractor. That's not right, is it? Oh, I used to play Unkar all the time. Oh, yeah, that's right. I used to play Unkar all the time when he only had 6 loadout. Now I can take. Man, I don't know. Do I take this guy over Sarko now for my coordinator in the list? So you can take Grief Karga. No, sorry, Gleb, and he can also take a Seismic or a Contra. Yeah, I don't know why. He could be cool. I love this ability. Um, I guess the difference is Sarko does have an extra 2 loadout, and technically his ability is more useful for when he needs to zoom. And that ability has saved me a couple times. So I don't know. It's an option. I do like the ability. Run it in a tractor friendly list, and you're having a blast. Next is a change that I think a lot of people hate, which is Cad Bane losing to loadout. He lost his bells and whistles. Now you can't run Procket Synced Laser, which, in my opinion, is the only thing that kept him viable outside of I think it's the only thing that kept him viable outside of the SL was the fact that he could take Procket Sync Laser. Obviously, he can't now. Maybe the build is Ion Cannon, Heavy Laser Cannon. Like, there's a couple of things you can take. Sanity Blood. Like, you could take some crew or payload. I'm always a big fan of. Oh, can he even take Zuckuss anymore? Sync Laser. Oh, he can't take Zuckuss. Wow, what a nerf. That's probably the only other build I would consider instead of the SL, and that's now nerfed. So guess what? I'm continuing to only fly the SL Cad Bane. Honestly, I can see him losing one loadout. I can see the reason they gave him -2 is so he can't be his Sync Laser Cannon Procket build, um, which is technically a really strong build, but I really didn't like playing it. But I mean, I get it, but it does kind of hurt because I've always loved that Zuckuss build. Sync Laser Zuckuss is a really good build. I guess it's Sync Laser Forlom now, which is also a really cool build. That's the only thing I'd consider other than SL CAD. But SL CAD is just so versatile with his Toto and his Flechette Cannon. I think that's gonna be it's still gonna be my pick always. AAD. Armed and Dangerous Cad Bane always. Um, Keep going. Still a lot more to get through, guys. Holy, we're already at an hour. Cool. Guild Bounty Hunter is increased in 6 loadout, which I really like. There's some good options to take some elicits like Hotshot Tail Blaster for your ability, which is spending illicit charges to change a focus to a crit while attacking. Yes, sir. So there's some really good options for you to take stuff like you can even fit cloaking device in there. You could fit hotshot tail blaster cloaking device. How was that? Not that's actually a really good build. Oh, I like that. Oh, I really like that. That's cool. Take some ablative plating. Yeah, right. Let's do that. Let's do that. You have 4 charges up your sleeves. You could even cloak if you really wanted to. Um, yeah, I like that. That's 4 times a game you can change a focus result to a crit. Um, could be interesting to try out. Obviously, they're not necessarily the bulkiest. You get to save your focuses for defense because obviously you have that attacking mod. I don't know. Interesting. Might try it out. And then a big change that everyone's loved. Mando is now 6 points, -7 loadout, but with 18 loadout. 6 points with 18 loadout. Really fun. So obviously Mando has so much he can do still. He can take his title, get a free illicit, as long as we leave one slot open. We can grab a crew like maybe a Sulcatano. We could take a one illicit, being probably something more expensive. Actually, you could take a inertia. Damn, you can actually fit inertia dampeners. You can't take cloaking. But yeah, you could take something like maybe tracking fob. Not really useful. I'm always taking fearless. I'm always taking not always, but I normally take Dengar. Can't fit that. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Maybe we change Fearless off. I don't know. Anyway, there's lots of options you can do. You could even chuck your Perceptive Copilot on them. I actually like Perceptive Copilot a lot more here. Um, I mean, the Force is always good for his ability, but his ability also works with focuses. So I think Mando's definitely a viable option here. I would love. I'm looking forward to giving him a go. It'll be fun. Um, Continuing down the train. I don't think that's it for Scum. Yeah, that's it for Scum. I'm kind of excited for that Mandalorian. I'm excited to see if people start using the gauntlets more. Definitely think Maul is a lot more powerful than he was previously, even though he's pretty powerful. And Emon definitely, I think Emon's going to see some play. I definitely want to try out a lot of those pieces, so I might try them all together. What do we got? 7 for him, 7 for Maul, 6 for Mando. Anyway, continuing. Let's keep going. Resistance. I do have some opinions here. Starting off, a lot of your 3-point Y wings. Sorry, every single 3-point Y wing has got a little bit of a loadout increase. So that's going to help them with their engine upgrade. It's going to help them with the dorsal turret. Obviously, these guys don't have the configuration, so as long as you give them an action, they get a calc for free. So these guys are going to be really cool. I can easily see someone running a bunch of Kimji Spice runners or like all your 3-point named pilots, chucking on your dorsal turret, chucking on your R4 astromech, chucking on your engine upgrade. Boom, 8 points, and you've got how do you say that? A boosting dorsal turret ship, like really strong. I like that. It's going to be cool to see some Y-wing swarms. I have verse one before. It wasn't the best. Sorry, I didn't verse one. I watched it play, but it wasn't the best because he stuffed up. But it was good. It was good to see. I think it's going to be really cool. Then, yeah. So all the changes being talked about. Next is in the fireballs. Yarak Jaeger has gone down a point and lost 14 loadouts. So 3 points with 6 loadouts. I think this is very similar to how AMG had him. Um, I liked his slamming intimidation build. I think it was really cool for that. But I mean, that's okay. Kazadozonio has increased with 3 loadout, which is really cool because that's 3 loadouts for your advanced slam. So now we get to take a really full loadout, really, really full loadout. Obviously, my favorite is R1J5, Astromech Bucket is my favorite, but you can chuck whatever you want. People are doing R5 Astromech, which I don't like, but people are people. Anyway, continuing. A-Wings, Mel Cobbin lost his Procket. Only having 5 loadout means no Procket. I guess you're taking Predator or Enduring. I don't know what you're running on Merle. Procket was good. No Procket. Next is Sefton Vanek, the Initiative 5 A-Wing, whose ability I've always considered blank, but might actually have a purpose. Let me have a look. S for Sefton. After you perform boost, you may transfer 1 evade token. Yeah, like that's going to be useful unless you're running away. But obviously, Sefton Vanek is a pilot in here that you can play. 4 points now, has 12 loadout up their sleeves. I still don't think you're going to be taking. Okay, I don't think you're taking Sefton over ZZ. For starters, ZZ Custom, ZZ SL, or Tally SL. I don't think, or even Lulo. Like, I don't think you're taking Sefton over any of those. Like, maybe there's a reason. You never know. But I'm good, thanks. I don't think so. Anyway, I still think that's a good change because the Initiative 5 A-Wing at 3 points, even with only 2 loadout taking heroic, it was still really good Objective Monkey at 3 points. So glad that's gone. Next is Zari Bangle is down a point with only 5 loadouts. So Zari is you don't skip your perform action step, which I think is actually really cool. Like I really think that's a good decision on this A-Wing, chucking her at 3 points. Because now you have access to bumping and then doing a focus rotate or something like that, which still stresses you, but because you don't skip your perform action step, you can do focus as a normal action. So I really like this ship at 3 points. I have no idea what upgrades you'd chuck on it. Maybe Ferrosphere, maybe a automated target priority. Maybe you take heroic and a predator, or what I'd be focusing more on playing the bump into someone, rotate backwards type play. But still, there's some really good options you can take. She has plenty of loadout to mess with. I really like that change, and I really want to try Zari out because I haven't actually flown her ever. But anyway, that's the end of that. Next, we have Covanel in the Resistance Transport is still 5 points with an extra 3 loadout. Come on, guys. I don't think you're playing Kova ever. Sorry. Good support piece, though. 22 loadout is still decent. Next is Taka Jormarisa at 20 plus 5 loadout, so at 20 loadout now. I don't know, guys. Taka has no crew. Taka is if you jam someone. After you jam, you must choose another ship at 0 to 1 of the target if able. So another ship, ship at 0 to 1. So it can't be the same ship. So it gives you some jam chains, but no crew slot. So you're stuck with, I believe those things have a red coordinate, yeah, red coordinate, red jam. I don't think there's any way for you to get out of that. Like, I don't think there's any. Maybe there's an asterisk that gives you a white jam. I don't think so. Like, I don't know. I guess you take. I don't know what you could put on this guy because he's built to be a. Like, you're built to be a coordinator, but you're not taking any crew. Your astromech, I guess you take M9G8, and then you have a bunch of cannons and missiles and torpedoes. Like, not even missiles, you have cannons and torpedoes. Like, I don't know, man. And you have an illicit slot, I guess. Do you have anything jamming on the illicits? Feedback array? No, I mean, I guess you could run feedback array. That's not a bad idea. Afterburner static. Okay. I guess there's an option for you to static discharge vein. You run up, jam someone at 0 to 1, then you must jam yourself, but then you can take a damage to rejam them. Again, kind of useless. I don't think unless you're versing a double jam list or because here's the thing, like unless you're in the center of two ships, so you jam someone in front of you, and then you can't bounce the jam to the guy behind you. So you take the jam yourself, then you static discharge vein to jam the guy behind you. That's the one situation where I think this guy would be good. But you're running that in M9G8 to be useful. And then sorry. And even if you do that, if you're running M9G8, there's a chance you can't you always have to have you always it's so confusing. Because if you can't bounce it off to another ship, it has to bounce to yourself. So you always have to give that back. You always have to be taking that damage to keep your M9G8 active. So, like, I don't know. Like, interesting on a card that I don't think you'd ever use static discharge veins. I don't know. It's weird. I can see that as the one and only use. But continuing, Han Solo YT 1300 lost 3 loadout. I don't think it's too much. It might affect what he has a run with, but eh. Elo Atsi in the X-wing is +3 loadout, so it gives you a lot more options. To take something like M9G8, maybe even afterburners, maybe a shield upgrade. Maybe even you could fit proton torpedoes actually because you have your weapon hardpoint, so that's cool. Hello, proton torpedoes. Run it with Zari coordinator Zari and thread tracers. Ooh, fun. Um, Next we have Hemin Wexley Black 2. So this is Snappy Flappy. Snappy Flappy Temin. Sorry, Flappy Temin, not Snappy Temin. This guy's the one where you can, at the start of the engagement phase, you can get everyone to flip their configurations. Not really useful because you take a strain from it, but he's 4 points with 7 loadout, I guess. Like, is he at least initiative? Is he up an initiative or is he the exact same? I think he's the same. Yeah, initiative 4. I mean, like maybe I don't know when you'd ever use that, honestly. Like you've got for the cause now on your SL X-wings, but if you're running SL X-wings, that ability doesn't trigger on them. So very specific lists. Your Black Squadron Ace got an upper point extra 13 loadout. And they're 5 points. So I mean, I don't know why you'd run them. Uh, Blue Squadron Rookie's down a point and has 7 loadout. I think the only difference is thingy majiggy. Blue Squadron Rookie's initiative 1, whereas your Black Squadron's initiative 4. So yeah, a little bit better there. That's the end of Resistance. I don't know. I'm not really interested in any of these changes. Like mainly, I want to see Zari played. I want to see if anyone will ever play Sefton at 4. I don't know why when you have X-wings. I want to see if someone will make a Temin list, but again, I don't know why you would, unless you like Temin that much. But yeah, that's it. Under FO, where there is a change in here I really don't like, but It'll be it's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, Hollow is still 5 points. He has an extra 3 loadout. I think that's really good. It gives him that extra edge over Major Vonreg, makes you probably want to give him a try. Maybe take the Tronium power cells because it's more affordable now. Um, but still, Vonreg's still really cool. I mean, Hollow is interesting because you get to pass off tokens, but I don't know. It's interesting. Um, Next is the TIE Fighters. There's only two change. There's only one change here, and it's the change I really don't like. Look, Scorch Evacuation Cador at 3 points. I have to be completely honest. I don't like it. Let me see if I can find my photos. Let me pause this because we're running out. Okie dokie, we're back. So I don't know about this Scorch change. Um, let me show you from 4 points to 3 points. And there's a couple of reasons why. One reason why, and we'll just start by going through the card. He's a 3 dice gun with technically a lot of loadout when you look at this. When you look at his upgrades and you kind of assess how they would be on a custom ship, it is a lot of stuff he's got for a 3 point ship. Considering DT, which is take a strain to roll an additional die, so Scorch's best friend, at the same initiative is only 3 or 4 loadout. This guy seems like there's a lot in comparison. That's reason one. Reason two is kind of the same thing. He has Merciless. Like, Merciless wipe form of an attack, you may choose another friendly ship at 0 to 1 of the defender. They gain a strain, you may reroll a blank result. So, for starters, he's rolling 3 dice at any range, basically. Range 1, it's 4 dice. Now he also gets Merciless. Reason 3, Determination. Like, potentially at range 1, you're rolling a 5 die shot with Merciless and Fanatical up. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, that is, like, honestly, that is like potentially like he could have up to two. Like, I would say, like, technically, let's do like only 2 times a game he ever triggers this. But let's just say twice a game he's able to get into range 1 of a ship. Determination himself still has a focus, has his Merciless, has his primary. He's rolling a 5 dice shop with 1 reroll and a Fanatical auto conversion for focus to hit, or a focus token to convert everything. Like, that is pretty crazy. Like, let alone if you took a lock action. Like that is that's pretty crazy when you think about it. Like, a 3 point ship being able to do that potentially. Like, let's just say absolute worst case scenario, 4 times a game he could technically do that. Like, it's probably never gonna happen, but technically 4 times a game he might be able to do this. That's pretty crazy in my opinion. Like, and then also, sorry, this is the also one of the main reasons. Like, it's like, I guess, like, like maybe 4 times a game. Like, it's not very bad. Let's add threat senses. Everyone at initiative 6, initiative 5, and anyone who shoots before him at initiative 4, who shoots him, as long as he doesn't have a stress token, he rerolls 1 focus result. So he has 3 agility. He's probably not going to spend his focus on defense, but he has that option to just reroll a focus result. Like, yes, it's 1 reroll, but it's like, come on. Like, best case scenario, he rolls average and he rerolls a dice into 2 evades, potentially dodges a shot. Like, I get it. He's initiative 4. Once he does his thing, every shot afterwards he won't be able to reroll. But it's still like, the meta right now is still that initiative 5, initiative 4 meta in most factions, especially with some of the changes made um with some of those how do I explain it? Not really. Well, some of the changes made, I mean, Grand Inquisitor and like Fifth Brother and all that. Yeah, there's the changes, like some of the changes made in this points upgrade allows more 4 and 5 um initiative ships to thrive, I guess you could say. But like, anyway, I'm getting off topic. What I'm trying to say is that it just seems like he's getting so much for a 3 point ship. Like, yes, he's a TIE fighter. Yes, he damages himself to get his max ability, but come on, it's a really good card, and I think this is going to be an auto take in every faction. Now, the next reasoning I have of why I also don't like this card is when we look at SL Longshot, who is also a 3 point TIE fighter who is really strong. having experimental scanners, having fanatical, having determination, having merciless, having initiative three shots, three attack dice. Like that's strong. And then you also have was Zeta 5. Um, Zeta 5, who is also a massive powerhouse of a tie, having the exact same thing as Scorch, able to have technically a 5 dice shot on a ship, um, with like able to double technically like soft double mod it. Like FO's been given 9 points of really efficient firing, and I don't really think that's fair to other factions. Like I get that internally in FO, they don't have a lot of cheap options that can do that. Like there is plenty of cheap options that can do it off of locks or maybe cannons and stuff, but we're getting this is slowly it slowly seems like this change is putting us back to that FO meta where they were just flying a bunch of TIE fighters. Like I did I have lists built around this because I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, how bad can you make it? And it obviously it's not really bad. Like you could easily have run similar stuff, but for example, this is the first list I made. Longshot EOD, Scorch EOD, Zeta 5 EOD, DT with Predator. Then we have Lieutenant LeHugh's EOD, and then we have Breach of Proton Torpedoes, Proud Tradition. So technically, really good round. You're shooting a proton torpedo. Lieutenant LeHugh's is stealing long shots turn one lock from experimental scanners to get a double modded concussion missile. You're having DT and Scorch potentially shooting with 3 dice at any range, 4 dice range one. Scorch EOD potentially getting 5 dice range one if he has a bullseye. Zeta 5 also potentially getting 5 dice with her bullseye. Then also Longshot potentially getting 4 dice at range one for bullseye. Like it's when you look at it like that, like this is a strong squad. Technically, the survivability isn't the highest, but it's still a really strong like FO high list. And I don't know. It's just coming back to that like that meta. And even if you don't want to look at it like that, right? So like I said, if I ever fly FO, I've been taking Longshot and Zeta 5 in every list. Now I'm also going to be taking Scorch in every list. So the other list I made was this one, which is a 5 ship list. Have those 3 really strong TIE fighters, have Breacher of Proton Torpedoes, and have Kylo Ren EOQ. And even worse, you could change Kylo to what do you call it? You change Kylo to normal Kylo and chuck Von Reg in there instead of Breach. Like, there's some really good options you can choose with a 9 point block that's strong, or a 12 point block that's pretty strong with your DT in it as well. Like, I think, obviously, I'm talking worst case scenarios here with how many dice you can throw. Like, in your well, not worst, but like if you're the player, your best case scenario throwing dice. Like, yes, each of your TIE fighters is taking a damage, but if you're rolling good defense dice, you can justify it. And if you're rolling 5 dice on some of those shots, like it's strong as. Like, I don't know. I just think like I understand that Scorch EOD wasn't really getting played, and it doesn't seem worth it at 4 points compared to something like Midnight or um Malorus, but it's one of those things that makes me think maybe we need some type of different scoring system where we can get that difference between a 4 and a 3. Like it just to me, Scorch 2 doesn't seem made to be a 3 point ship, but he doesn't seem made to be a 4 point ship. He's not as strong as the 4 point ships in that faction, but he's really strong for a 3 point ship. Um, Anyway, I just spent a lot of time talking about that one card. But honestly, that's my opinion, guys. Like, obviously, people are gonna have different opinions, and I 100% understand. Like, you could, like, 100%, I understand. But man, it's kind of boggling in my head. I don't know. But anyway, continuing on. Probably said that so many times. TIE Bomber Grudge. He is now 3 points, which is really cool. He lets you reroll bomb results. So 3 point Grudge, only 7 loadouts, so has to choose between bombs. Easily could chuck a really good 3 point, like a bunch of 3 point bombers, all with bombs. Like I've tried it, it's not the best, but it's fun. Um, Hi SFs, I really like Backdraft being dropped to 4 points and having 8 loadout. I think that's really cool. It gives them a little bit. I don't think anyone was flying backdraft before, so I like that. And then Omega Squadron Expert. I don't even care about that. 4 points. Oh no, 4 points of 9 loadout. I guess it has a missile, whereas Zeta Squadron Survivor doesn't. Okay, cool. Silencers weren't touched. TIE Whispers did get touched. So Kylo Ren in the TIE Whisper is now 5 points with 12 loadout. 5 points with 12 loadout. I like it. Could see some instinctive aim concussion missile builds coming out. Could see potentially afterburners. Well, I didn't really think about that. Yeah, could see some afterburners. Afterburners procket builds. That would be pretty cool. Oh, that's dirty. Oh, that's dirty afterburner prockets. No, you can't fit that. No. Yeah, you can. No, you can't. No, you need 14. Sorry. Yeah, it would have been cool. I mean, you could chuck it on Wrath. No, he does have a missile. Never mind. Don't even worry about me. Could it be some afterburners builds with maybe Brilliant Evasion or something? I don't know. But yeah, that's cool. I don't mind it. Nightfall got an extra 3 loadout. I really love Nightfall. If he moves through or boosts through someone, they gain 2 jams. So I really like that one. He'd be really good in a list with a bunch of these guys. And then Red Fury Zealot with at 3 points lost 1 loadout. Okay, cool. I don't really care. Like, what were they running? Um, they were running advanced optics something. I don't even remember. But yeah, cool. Upsilons. So Starkiller base pilot went down a point and got an -5 loadout. Again, like Captain Cardinals around a similar price point. Major Strident's literally at the same price point. I don't know, guys. Tell me if you fly it, I guess. One thing I actually don't like this change here. Terex at 3 points getting an additional 2 loadout. Like I understand that it's hard to play into his ability with only 3 points, with only 6 loadout that he had. But he's still a 3 point ship, like with get rid of this. I don't want to look at that anymore. He's still a 3 point support ship with 7 hit points, and he's able to take something like General Hux. Like, actually, no, sorry, that doesn't work because he doesn't have white coordinate. No, General Hux for you. You could take something like Hondo or Naka, which I actually think that's a really good option, Hondo or Naka. You cannot take Agent Tarek's crew, which is actually a really good card. You could take Gleb, you could take Officer Thanison. You could always just take Phasma and go Contraband. Or you could take I don't know. There's a couple of things you could take. You could also just go for a bunch of elicits to hand out, because you're allowed to hand out any number to any of your TIE FO or SF. Obviously not your SL cards, but that would be cool. But yeah, so I mean, I guess they like with the, like I said earlier, with those EOQ SL ties being pretty strong. I guess that if most people are going to be taking them in a game, there's reason to give a ship like this more loadout, because it gives you a reason to not take an SL card if you have more illicit slots to give out. Because obviously, Dead Man Switch, Contraband, Overtuned. Boom. 3 cards you can easily hand off to some people. And then Commander Malorus at 4 point, gain an extra 6 loadout. I don't even honestly don't care. Like, what does Malorus even do? If it has 1 or more blank results, that ship must gain a strain to reroll 1 blank result. Initiative 5. I mean, sure. Like, I don't know. Like, if someone wants to run this, they can run it. I don't know what combos you chuck on them, but probably just a General Hux and a attack officer plus a I don't know, something else. Targeting by execute things, proud tradition. An article. There you go. Boom. There's a loadout. That could be cool. I guess that could be cool. I mean, it gives you more. I mean, it gives you more choice. You also have Hask, which is to roll additional attack dice. I kind of like that more. Actually, this one doesn't have a limitation on it though, because everyone must reroll. So I think that's cool. Could be useful for a ship with an ace who's not really flying with the pack. That way, if you're flying with a bunch of low initiative EOQ SLs, they could like TIE fighters, they can all get rerolls. I don't know. There's a couple of cool. Like I guess it brings back. Oh yeah, I guess it brings back TIE Swarm. Go DT. Let's go long shot. Let's go Scorch. Let's go Zeta 5. We still have 4 points left. Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you're running a tie swarm with him, everyone's getting rerolls. Like you're bound to hit something. Obviously, you're taking strains. Maybe you change a couple of the really low initiatives. Get rid of ZT and sorry, DT and Scorch. I don't know. But anyway, I've spent so long. That's an hour and 20 minutes. I'm supposed to go to bed for work. Oh, I haven't even hit the last faction. I still have two more factions to go. That's crazy. Okay, let's speed through this. Galactic Republic, cool. SL Jags down a point, minus 11 loadout. Okay, cool. I don't. Okay, whatever. Let's have a look at them. Where's SL Jag? Same ability. Same ability. Cool. I like it. But it does put his custom, his standard loadout version up a point. Wolf got given an extra 2 loadout. Custom Wolf. Y Wings, broadside, 3 point broadside got 2 more loadout. R2D2 at 3 points got 2 more loadout. Cool. Goji is now at 3 points. I actually think Goji's would be really fun to run. Goji, I believe, roll an additional defense die for each friendly bomb at 0 to 2. Take a bunch of oh, you could run Goji, a couple of these guys, a couple of Jedi's and delayed fuses and see how that goes. That would be really keen. I'd like to see that. And then keep it going, be quick and easy. There's a bunch of point changes across the Aether sprites to make them a little bit better. So Adi Gallia got 6 loadout, which I think was needed, honestly, for just the Delta 7. Ahsoka got an extra loadout. Anakin Skywalker went down to 5 points for his Delta 7. Real, pardon me, really like that. Definitely usable now. Did I miss someone? Was Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan got an extra loadout. Barriss Sophie got 2 more loadout. Delta 7B Anakin went down a point and has 9 loadout. I really like that. Stacey Tin went down a point as well and has 9 loadout. I can't remember what Stacey's ability is, but probably a 2 Force pilot. Probably wouldn't touch it. Ada's didn't get touched. Gauntlets, all the gauntlets got more points. So Bo-Katan Gauntlet has +6. Night Eye Liberator has +4. Lats got more loadout, so your 5 point lats all got an extra bit of loadout to bring them up to 16. I actually like that because now there is a reason. The main reason you're picking them is for the change in ability and obviously the utility. So obviously all 3 of them can take barrages. All 3 of them have 2 crew slots. All 3 of them have 2 gunners. The difference is that Hound has a sensor, and then the other 2 have talents. And then obviously Warthog is still 6 points with 26 loadout, which is crazy. Yoda crew, woo! Actually, you could probably chuck Yoda crew on those guys, couldn't you? I love Yoda crew. He's really fun. Yoda. Ooh, 2 Force, and you get a Force coordinate. Ooh, fun. 4 more loadout as well. That'd be cool to see. Naboo Anakin got an extra 3 points. I don't know. He's not worth it. I don't think so. I don't know why. Oddball in the Nimbus class V-Wing went up a point, but he got 7 extra loadouts, so he does get a little bit more utility. So now he is an option whether you take the this oddball over the Torrent oddball. The Torrent oddball obviously has 23 loadout, but has no shields and 1 less agility. So there is a choice there. Obviously, oddball in the Torrent takes I don't know, it's proton torpedoes, whereas this one's probably going to be taking plasmas, but there's still some good options there. Anyway, that's the end of them. I'm interested to see some more lats on the field. I'm interested to see more Delta 7s, Aether Sprite. Sorry, yeah, Delta 7 Aether Sprites on the field. Okay. Okay. Separatist Alliance. I'm really happy about this. These guys were so oppressive. Let's get through this. Grievous, up a point, but +9 loadout. I like it because I hated 4 Point Grievous with the amount of survivability he had. I don't think there was any other ship in the game that had that much survivability at 4 points. It's just crazy. With the Solar Swan and the Impervium plating, like it's just gross. Like, how is Impervium plating better than Beskar? Come on, guys, Mandalorians are better. But anyway, um, that's a change. I like it because I hate Grievous, but that's just me. Continuing. Fearsome Predators got an extra 2 loadout. I really like this. They can now take Predator Fire Control System or Predator Discord missiles, which I think is really good. I love Fearsome Predators because they're really fun ships. So I like to see that change. Give them a little bit of love. All fire sprayers got more loadout. So Boba Fett at 6 point has 10 loadout now, which is actually a little bit crazy, honestly. It's a little bit interesting. 6 points of 10 loadout. I don't know. Uh, Pardon me, I did dip. But yeah, Boba Fett, interesting. 10 loadout at 6 points. I don't know. I love a 6.5 spray, but is it really worth it? I mean, you got Savage Press or Zam. Oh, you got Zam Crew. Oh, I actually like that. Zam Crew Boba would go hard as that. That's cool. Django Fett got an extra 4 loadouts at 25, and Zam Wessel got an extra 3 loadout at 20. Um, I do like, I do love how strong these. Come on, guys! I love how strong these Separatist fire sprays are compared to Scum. To be fair, Separatists aren't normally using them with how strong the droids are, but droids got a little bit of a nerf, so definitely could see a list where we have Django Fett and 6 droids. Actually, I would fly a list with Zam and 3 droids. That actually sounds really peak. Zam and 7 droids, sorry, six droids, sorry. That sounds peak. I'll do that. Gauntlets got a lot of love, like Bo-Katan Kryze plus 6 loadout, Death Watch Warrior plus 5, and then Pre-Vizsla plus 5 at 25. Holy mother of loadout. Before friendly ship is reacting, spend one charge for that ship may gain a strain token, remove one non-stress. I got orange token. Oh, I don't know if there's many. Oh, actually, Bo-Katan. Oh, ooh. Oh, wait, no, that's before they activate. I mean, it could be. Oh, actually, Bo-Katan with a bunch of droids could be droids. I mean, Bo-Katan could be good to support people who leave locks on, so that could be strong against Empire. 14 loadout's still a decent bit to deal with. Pre-Vizsla at 25 loadout and his ability to just roll initial attack die. That guy can chuck some mods on. Holy. Um, Obviously you would be taking Dropseed Bay here and just adding a bunch of stuff. Dooku and Palpatine, go for it, buddy. Give him just a bunch of force. Nah, this guy's got a bunch of loadout. He can do what he wants. Continuing. Uh, HMP droid gunship DGS 286 got nerfed. No 3 point HMP area for the tactical relay system. But this guy's back at 4 and 12. Match all his buddies. Um, Obviously, I love this change as a non-separatist player. I really hated the fact that there's a 3 point HMP, and most people who have played against HMPs before knows that they're really slimy bastards who just stay in the back line and give out their krakens or whatever, and you have to charge after them, and then you waste time not attacking a droid swarm. So love that change. However, they did balance it out. BGS, so in the Hyena bombers, DBS 32C droid control signal relay. He now gets a tactical relay slot and 7 loadout points. So I think he gets his pick of the litter. If I'm not mistaken. Come on, where's your bombers? There you go. He correct. He does get his pick of the litter. He gets any one of these he wants. Obviously, it's his only thing he gets really. Like maybe you take independent calcs. I don't know. I don't think he would be taking independent calcs, but it's an option. Other changes is DBS 404 custom loadout is now 4 points, but increased by 5 loadout. Thank goodness I'm sick of 404 being 3 points with plasma torpedoes and the freaking um energy shell charges. I hated that. Like, come on, guys. Like, such a good change. Let's go. Nerf separatists. Let's go. Um, but at the same time, DBS 404 standard loadout, which is one of my favorite droid bombers, is now 3 points. He has the advanced proton torpedoes. So 6 point advanced proton torpedoes is back, baby. Let's go. I love that ship. Um, Next is our Nantax class starfighter. Brewer Kret got an extra loadout. I don't know, guys. I don't know why. Brewer Kret is Initiative 5. Each friendly ship calculate on its action bar and a lock on the defender may perform a red calc action. I don't know. Brewer Ket's ability is kind of ass. Like, I guess you get Lone Wolf. He is Initiative 5. There is no ensnare, so he is kind of hard to play. So I don't know, man. It's one of those ones. I was like, eh. Anyway, continuing on, some good nerfs. Cad Bane is now matching his Scum variant with only 11 loadout, so -2. I'm pretty sure he could run the Sinclair as a Procket build that we all know and love, but he had a better chance of getting it off of his ability, which is after a ship dies. I think it's any ship dies, he can perform an action even while stressed. Yeah, another ship at 0 to 3 is destroyed. You may spend 1 charge from an action even while stressed. So he could easily get that boost into Bullseye for his Procket. This change here, Dirge going up a point, I don't really like. They already got hit a little bit hard with their non-droid ships with Grievous going up a point. I don't think Dirge was necessary to go up a point. I understand why because of his survivability, of his pilot ability. But at the same time, he was also that 4 point ship that you ignore. And I mean, if he's running Prockets, he doesn't always line them up. So, not Prockets, sorry. If he's running Sync Laser or HLC. But he does get 16 loadout to play with, which is cool. Magna Guard protectors now go up +3 loadout each. I really like that change. They aren't necessarily the best ship, so giving them that extra little bit of love is really cool. And continuing on, that is all the changes. I don't believe there's any upgrade card change yet. Let me double check everything. I don't actually look through this. Not seeing any color, guys. Oh, Dropsy Bay got reduced by 2 points. Sorry, yeah, Dropsy Bay 0 points now. Yay! It's not like we haven't been talking about it all day, the whole time. Okay, cool. That's a really long video, honestly. That's insanely long. Anyway, um, good changes. Great to see Rebels getting some love. Great to see Empire having a little bit of changes around with how things work. It's really good that Republic lats are seeing some more loadout. I really like that. I like that they've adjusted how the Aether sprites are because they're not really like considering that Aether sprites are like the Jedi in Grand Army of the Republic. They are like the generals. Considering they weren't being used a lot, other than Y-wing Anakin. Glad to see that. Obviously, I don't really watch a lot of X-wing anymore. I haven't really had time, but I haven't seen too much where it's not Y-wing Anakin. Um, Separatists, really great to see some nerfs. Really interesting to see how the fire sprays are going to change up the meta with all their extra loadouts. And obviously, DBS 32C, other than having a sorry, having being the only 3 point tactical relay carrier is going to be really great because they're way easier to kill than HMP. And then resistance with their changes. Interesting to see how buffing all your 3 point Y wings is going to be effective. Great to see Kaz get some extra loadout. Everything else is kind of who cares? And in the first order, I really want to. I haven't played Scorch EOD and I haven't seen anyone play him, so it's going to be interesting to see if that becomes the new oppressive, not oppressive, but the auto 3 point fill. Sorry guys, I'm tired. It's like 9:53. I normally go to bed at 9:30. This video is way longer than I expected. Anyway, it's really good talking. Oh, and Scum. It's good to see IG88's getting some extra buff. Good to see Mando out of his little 7 point corner back in 6 points, where it's actually viable to run him in a list now. Um, I'm actually interested to see how that shakes up and what I build with him. So yeah, cool. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's been ages. Thank you for listening to me drone on for ages. Hear my thoughts. Sorry if I offended you, FO players and CIS players, because obviously I don't like CIS. I'm glad they got nerfed, and I really don't like that Scorch change, but that's all good. Anyway, catch you guys. Thanks for watching.